Hello, and welcome to another episode of Boundless Body Radio. I'm your host, Casey Ruff, and today we have another amazing guest introduced to you now. Andra Erickson is a certified life coach, wife, and mom of 3, and the owner of Pure Sweat and Float Studio in South Jordan. During her career as a health coach, she had the courage to ask the question, what if her clients could sleep deeper, reduce stress, and recover faster without adding any more to their plates? This is why Andra helps busy people recharge their bodies and minds through relaxing in a full spectrum infrared sauna and float suite, so they can show up better at work, at home, and in life. Floating is as close to adults come to returning to the womb. There's a deep sense of safety and being that enables the ability to let go, be free, and experience the calming effects of truly being plunged into the present moment. Floating supports decision-making, confidence, and an easeful path forward. She also discovered that infrared sauna is one of the most proactive ways to be healthy and stay healthy. Sweating is the body's natural and safe way to eliminate toxins, and far infrared wavelengths amplify this process by reaching deepest into the body where toxins are stored, breaking them apart so they can be released through sweat. Andra Erickson, what an absolute honor it is to welcome you to Boundless Body Radio.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for this conversation.
I am so excited for this conversation as well. The first question is, can we move in, and can this be the permanent house for Boundless Body Radio? Brand new studio.
Please do. Let's do it. I happily host all of your guests.
This will be the Beats Lab. I'm working on my rap career as well, so we could do that in-house here.
Okay,
We're recording in person. This is great here in your studio.
Kind of fun, right?
It's super fun.
I love it. Yeah, let's do this.
Super, super fun. It's interesting. We mentioned in the introduction that floating is like as close as you can get back to the womb as an adult. We met. I had the opportunity to come to the studio, do my very first ever float. I have to say, I've been looking into this for a very, very long time. I've wanted to do it. I've been so nervous about it because it involves being, with the worst person I want to be with, and nobody else,
by
myself.
Yourself,
exactly.
Yes.
Completely isolated, no lights, and absolutely just doing nothing, not being productive, not being on my phone. It terrified me. I came in, I tried it. The first 3 minutes were very terrifying. And after you kind of like relax into it, I found that time for me was so special just to have everything slow down. Realized I didn't need to be on my phone for 40 minutes. Everything was going to be okay. I left and everything was just fine. But I've been telling so many people about the experience that I had, and I kind of tell them, I feel like I kind of crash course maybe like 10 different meditations into one. You got into the state where you're observing your thoughts and thinking about things. I realized I was kind of like slowly rotating in the water, which was a little bit weird, but what an incredible experience I had. It was like, loved it.
I'm so glad. It's one of those things that until you have tried it, you don't really even know what to expect. So I love that you had such a cool experience. I actually, to prep for this interview, I got in a sauna and a float, and it helps with like mental clarity. So one of the things that I was thinking about after getting in the float, getting out of the float actually, was, when you're on a vacation and it's like a true vacation, not just a trip, but it's a restful vacation. And it's like, let's just say it's 7 days, but you feel like you've been there for 21. That's what a float does. Like I was in there for not even 30 minutes and I felt like I was in there for 3 hours. And I think that that's one of the powerful things that happens in the float for your brain is it just calms it down and helps you release and restore and get mental clarity and a mental break that so many of us, like because we're so inundated, we don't even know that we need. And sleep does that a little bit, but if you can do that in the middle of your day, it is so incredibly powerful for your brain.
That's amazing. Wow. I just, getting to know you and the staff here, everybody is so friendly and so zen, and it's so easy to understand why. You're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're a health coach. How challenging is it for you to take that time for yourself and get in a float when you've got calls to make, you're running so much stuff and staff and everything else? Like you have a lot going on. It must be a challenge.
It is not. And let me tell you why. Because I habit stack when I'm in there. So with a float, you can't habit stack. But with a full spectrum infrared sauna, it is not the same experience as a traditional sauna. I think everybody, the challenge that I have with my business is educating people on the difference. And they actually just have to come in and feel it. I had a gentleman, entrepreneur, husband, father. He came in and he did a sauna and he was like, Andra, when you came to my location, my business, and told me about the infrared sauna, I was like, yeah, I've done a sauna before. Like everybody knows what they are. They've done them at the gym. They've done this, just the traditional sauna. And he's like, this is leaps and bounds better. It's like a completely different experience. And he's like, you gotta somehow help people understand that they need to get in a full spectrum infrared sauna, not just a sauna, because it's so much different. And so with the full spectrum infrared sauna, I can turn down the temperature and still get the same benefits. So 3 of my saunas a week are turned down. I habit stack, whether it's for business or for home. So if I'm doing home stuff, then I organize kids' schedules. I'm helping like doing the meal planning and journaling. And I mean, so many things that you can do in a sauna for home. And then if I'm doing stuff for business, I'm prepping for staff meetings, I'm planning schedules, I'm doing social media content, I'm doing marketing outreach, I'm doing things as I'm sitting and getting all of the amazing benefits that happen in a sauna. And then one of those saunas a week is just for me. I crank up the heat, and I just relax. A lot of times I'll lay down. A lot of our clients sleep. They take another mental break. And so that's how I make it so that it actually isn't something that I struggle with getting in the sauna or the float. With the float, you can't take anything in with you, which is a benefit. Like, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome that you can't do anything in there, because in order for us to be as proactive and as productive as we can, we have to be recovering. We have to be giving our brains the mental break that they need. The ongoing stimulus just is not productive for our productivity.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't even go on a short walk without having something in my ears constantly playing at double the speed all the time.
100%.
It's so silly.
100%. And like, that doesn't allow for our brains to actually calm down and think. It doesn't allow for our brain to restore and get the benefits that the brain needs in order to be its best self, to be its to produce at the highest level that it needs to for us.
Wow, that's amazing. The habit stacking things sound amazing. I do some habit stacking. I have a sauna at home. I meant to check if it was the full spectrum, and I'm not sure if it is, but my habit stacking is at night. Right before bed, I do the sauna, but I'm also usually watching Utah Mammoth games. So it's usually doesn't sound as productive as what you're doing.
Hey, that is a habit stack if you're asking me. If it's a way to like shut out and decompress, that counts. In fact, our saunas are big enough for 2 people to get in them. And so oftentimes I'll choose, like for date night, I choose to go like, hey, I want to go to the studio and do a sauna with you. And my husband picks the movie. So awesome. We have TVs in there. They can come and watch a movie or whatever. So no shade awesome. On watching a Mammoth game. It's totally cool.
Awesome. I'll count that as productive.
Yeah.
It's so I'll speak again, before we get into your personal story, and talking about plunges and saunas, the experience that I had when I was in the float, again, we mentioned in the introduction that it's the closest we feel like we're in the womb. There's a sense as you're laying in this water, the water is the same temperature as your body, correct?
Correct.
You just don't really feel hardly anything when you're in there. And at first it's a little bit freaky to like get your head as far back as you need to, because the water is getting closer and closer to your mouth, your nose. But the feeling I had in the float, the best way I could describe it to people who ask is I almost felt like I was being held or cradled. And, talking on like a spiritual level, it felt really amazing to feel like I could surrender into that
Yeah.
and allow myself just to be whole. Because
To
again,
release.
it's so much of the sympathetic side of things, the doing, the being, especially, as a masculine, entity, I want to be out and doing stuff, but to like surrender into that. There was something there as well that I might not be able to describe perfectly, but something that I definitely noticed.
100%. And that is one of the cool things about a float. In our float, we have a suite. So a lot of people, when they get introduced to floating, it's in with a pod. So it's one person can go in there. It closes on top of you. Ours is a room, basically. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like the size of a queen size bed. I think it's like 7 feet tall. So it's a big room that you like step into, and then you can close the door if you want. And I suggest that you do, unless you're very claustrophobic, then you can leave the door open. But it makes it so that it's 1,500 pounds of medical grade magnesium. And so it's like you're floating in the Dead Sea. You literally can't sink, but your brain has to sometimes be tricked that you're really going to be okay, that you really can float. Like nothing is going to happen to you. And so we have these we call them neck noodles. They are neck supports to just help trick your brain so that you can fully release and relax. And once you do that, everything, it's not just your muscles and it's not just your brain, everything in your body relaxes. The entire body. Your blood, your like the veins, all the anatomy, everything will relax. And that is something that everybody has to experience, because it allows you to that deep relaxation will allow you to sleep better. It will allow you to boost your creativity. We have creatives, artists, and people come in just so that they can have a creative jolt. We have athletes that come in. They love to come in because it relaxes their muscles, helps with any joint pain that they're experiencing, especially at the end of your season when you're kind of burned out and you're tired and you're mentally zapped, but then you're thrown into like championships and tournaments and all of that kind of stuff. You really can go into a float and calm your mind down. And a lot of them like to actually think through their game, whether it's their golf game and they're thinking through their swing, or, how to shoot their free throws, or whatever it is, they're thinking through the mental aspect of their game. They're doing that in there and being held. And it's just this really cool experience. So I started floating as a mom. I learned about it and I'm like, oh, that's I'll go do that cool experience. And I was like, wait a minute, this is making me a better mom. I'm more calm. I'm more patient. I'm like, my stress is reduced. I get better sleep. Like, I'm a better mom by taking the 40 minutes to go in and float and have an incredible experience. That's a no-brainer. So I started floating more, especially when tensions would get high. I'd be like, I'm going to schedule myself a float tomorrow, And so that's how I started floating. And that even just our moms and busy parents need a break. It doesn't matter if you have a high stress job or you're actively trying to recover or build muscle or whatever. You still, like, your body needs, that nervous system needs a break so that it can function properly.
Well, I don't mean to diminish anybody else's experience in different locations, but certainly, especially here in the Salt Lake Valley, I think there's more of like, I don't know, an expectation of moms to always be busy, to be performing at such a high level. Obviously, there's been some like really popular TV series that have come out and show, culturally kind of what is dramatized of what goes on around here. And it seems like there's a lot more expectation on moms around here. And so again, to kind of take time away and take time for yourself must be a challenge, but then it pays you back. Like you said, you can come back and be more present with your kids. That's a great gift.
Yeah, the mindset that I have is this is for my children. Me leaving my children and going and exercising or going and participating in a sauna or a float or going out with the girls for a girls' night out. Like that is actually beneficial for my children, which is not wrong. Like I'm not just tricking myself. It is true. And I think that that's the mindset that more of my mothers out there need to get into is I can't pour from an empty cup. I mean, as much as we hate the oxygen mask analogy from the plane, like it is literally true. And so that's the mindset shift that I would suggest that you try on and just try and see if that's something that resonates with you. And for the record, our men need the same thing. Oftentimes you guys isolate yourselves, you're go, go, go. There's a lot of, the masculine energy is to do things myself and you need to be held too, so that you can show up as the best version for your clients, for your business, for your significant other, and for your children. So it's something that is not just for girls or for boys. Yeah. It's literally for everybody.
Yeah, I really appreciated that aspect of it, of feeling like I was supported and held. Yeah, definitely felt that. We mentioned in the introduction that you are a health coach. Let's talk about your own like personal journey, why you decided to get into health coaching, and then what point it was in your personal health career, your career as a health coach. When was it exactly that you started kind of floating and using these tools to enhance your recovery and performance?
Yeah, so I started went through a life coach certification. I think it's been 9 years ago now, and loved it. And just as I started working with different individuals, it was health and mindset was the things that people needed work on. And I actually helped a lot of business owners with their health and their personal lives, and which is really kind of cool. And I found floating a couple of years after that. And the cool thing about coaching and being in this industry is we're always searching for something to support us and help us. And so, and then you get to share that with others, which is really cool. And then this location in this business actually came into my lap. It was by divine design. I was not looking to buy a brick and mortar. I was loving doing the coaching thing. I was loving all of that. And it fell into my lap, and God said yes. So here we are. And I had actually never done an infrared sauna before. But I knew the power of red light. And red light is we should actually talk about that a little bit, the difference, because red light gets a lot of hype. But my son had, when he was not even 2, he threw a tantrum in my bedroom, and he bonked his tooth, and it shoved up into his gum. Oh my goodness. And it was conveniently on a Sunday when no one is open. And so we're in the emergency room with this sweet child of mine, and the emergency room doctor is about to glue a chain onto his tooth, and what little tooth you could see, and yank it back down into place. And luckily, by the grace of God, we found a pediatric dentist that said, please don't do that. Like, give that, stop the bleeding, and then give that child some pain meds, and then bring them to me tomorrow. And all he did for, I think it was 4 weeks, was put red light on that gum. That's it. And that tooth slowly moved back down into place. The dentist said it'll probably discolor, and it'll probably be the first one to get lost. It never discolored. and it had to get yanked because it was the last one to go, and it would not, like the roots, they did a scan, x-ray on it, and the root was still fully intact and not even remotely like what's it called?
Discolored?
Yeah. Like decreasing.
I see.
And so like, I was like, okay, this red light thing is amazing. It literally saved this kid's tooth. And it was a baby tooth, so it wasn't a big deal if it would have, but I knew that was powerful. So then when, 10 years later, when the whole red light thing industry kicked into gear and did excellent marketing, and everybody was doing red light therapy, I was like, okay, well, I know it works. So there's that. Like, I had proof 10 years ago. But yeah, there's a difference between infrared light and red light therapy. Infrared light is, there's 3 different wavelengths. I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to diss on red light, but red light isn't as amazing as the marketing is telling you. So it's actually the infrared light that is like the superhero of the story.
So this could be, I see panels, I see masks that people use, or like headgear with red light. This is what you're referring to.
Yes, 100%. And it is good. I'm not like, it works. It's amazing. However, if you do full spectrum infrared, you're going to get 10 times the benefits. So if you're going to be spending money and time, which are 2 of our greatest resources that we have as humans, you might as well be doing the best option for you. So full spectrum infrared is 3 different wavelengths. So red light is just 1 wavelength. So with infrared, you have the mid, near, and far. And those are, so the near is with the skin, and that's what the red light is doing. So you're still getting the same benefits as the red light with the near infrared.
Got it. And I asked you about this when you were explaining the first time, but the near is what? It's what I can see or what I can perceive, or it's still infrared, and so you can't necessarily perceive it?
Infrared, you can't, you still can't see it. Yep. It's an invisible light wavelength. And so, but it helps with your skin. It boosts collagen, helps with acne, eczema, any anti-aging, any skin wounds, wound healing, scars, all of that kind of stuff. That's what the near helps with. The mid is, which you're not going to get with the red light. So the next 2 that I'm going to describe, you're not going to get the benefits that these two wavelengths give you with just the red light. So the mid is like muscle recovery, reducing your inflammation, cardiovascular health. That's the athletes really love the mid wavelength for the recovery benefits that it gives you. And then the far is helps with your cellular detox. So you're gently being warmed on a cellular level, and it helps with your cellular detox and helps with circulation and blood flow. And there's so many benefits with having all 3 of them in your sauna with you.
Got it.
And that's what I think people need to understand, that with sauna, there's a good, better, best. I was listening to a functional medicine doctor talk about how he's like, gone are the days that sauna is just something that you can do if you want to. We have to be detoxing our bodies. It like, for the health of your body, for your body to function how it was intended to function and not get disease and everything, you have to be detoxing. And so does a traditional sauna detox you? Yes, it helps with the detoxification. Then there's good, better, best. Good is the sauna, just traditional sauna. Better is the infrared sauna. And then the best is the full spectrum infrared sauna that has all three wavelengths. Oftentimes, infrared is just one of the wavelengths.
Got it.
So I think we need to educate the community on that, just that alone. Like, pick whichever one you want. It doesn't matter. Like, but just know that there is a good, better, best. And a lot of people like to get in a traditional sauna with all of their peeps, and it's like a big event for them. Have at it. With a full spectrum infrared sauna, you're going to detox at least 20% more with the infrared sauna.
Got it. That's so well explained. I had never considered it like that, the good, better, best. And yeah, if you're going to invest in something like this, you would want to get the best that you could. If a sauna were inaccessible to somebody and they wanted the same benefits, this might be an overly obvious question, but is sunlight the next kind of best thing that we'd want somebody to be getting out to get some of that infrared light?
Yes, and it's different, right? It's not the same. It has some of the UV light, but this isn't UV. So it's a different kind of light. That's why we really are trying with memberships and packs, like it really can be more affordable. I get that not everybody can go out and buy a sauna. They don't have saunas that they can like room in their house even. I know in my last house, I for sure couldn't have, I have like, where am I going to put this thing? There would be no way. So, I get that there's people that can't. However, sunlight does do amazing things for us. I love, let me try to think of his name. It's, I can't remember, but it'll come to me. He talks about getting sunlight, increasing your oxygen, and then grounding. And he goes, you have to be doing those three things. And he also promotes full spectrum infrared saunas by Sunlighten. The saunas that we have are Sunlighten saunas. Sunlighten is the pioneer. They're the ones that they have 20 different patents. They are the leading leaders of the industry. Fun little story. The woman that created Sunlighten sauna, her brother was dying of cancer, and he was told by somebody, "Hey, stand in front of this infrared panel." It was just literally just the panel, not a sauna, no nothing. It was just the panels that are on the inside of our saunas, and he started to heal. Wow. He's like the cancer started going away. He started reducing all of his symptoms, and she and her husband were like, okay, there's something to this. They literally sold everything. They like mortgaged their house to the gills and built this company. And for me, I have autoimmune condition, and it's helped me increase my energy. It's helped me decrease my symptoms. It's helped me get off supplements. I probably don't even know some of the things that it's doing on the inside, that is benefiting my body. So yeah, it's powerful for so many people, not just people that are recovering from like muscle recovery. With your clients, like we want you guys to be able to go work out and then not be sore, not feel like you can't walk the next day because you worked out so hard, right? And we want you to be able to not get injured because of the exercises that you're doing and the being outside and doing the things that you want to do. We love helping people go and do more of what they love.
Yeah, that's amazing. As you were sharing your personal story, I was wondering whether you wanted to share your, journey through autoimmune issues. Is that something you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's do it. So at the beginning of 2025, January 4th, 2025, the blood work came back that I had. It's called ANA. It's such a fun autoimmune condition, y'all.
Sounded fun.
It is. It's one where the nucleus of cells gets attacked, and any cell is up for grabs. So I have a lot of the different symptoms that a lot of the different autoimmune conditions have. So like rheumatoid arthritis, back pain, like neuropathy, and I mean, they're like the list goes on and on. And so I hooked up with a functional medicine doctor, changed my diet, made sure I was low inflammation foods, adjusted. I mean, I'm basically off of wheat, so mostly gluten-free, mostly dairy-free. I can actually tell when I eat it because my body will flare up. But those are conscious decisions now. They used to be unconscious. Like I didn't ever know. And I didn't know my body could feel this good. I'm pretty sure I had autoimmune probably since I was like 14, but just didn't know it. And so, went through cleaning up my diet, detoxing, doing a parasite detox and a heavy metal detox and all of the protocols that they suggested. And that was January of 2025. In June of 2025 is when this location came up for sale. And I bought it in July of 2025 and have been in a sauna ever since. And it has I just wish that I had it during the detoxification at the beginning. I wish that I would have known about the full spectrum infrared sauna just to support my body. Heck, if I would have known about it 10 years ago and would have been doing it, maybe I wouldn't even have an autoimmune condition, right? That's, I think, one of the most powerful things. We as humans are oftentimes way too reactive. So things have to happen in order for us to take action. And I would love to support people in educating them and then so that they're proactive, so that some of this stuff doesn't even happen. I don't know if everybody knows, but when you get the same gut microbiome as your mother. So if your mother had autoimmune conditions, which guess what, mine does, you have that same gut microbiome. So you have to learn how to undo that, like make it so that your gut microbiome is healthy. I had no clue. Like, I wish this stuff was more readily available and people were shouting from the rooftops about it, because we could prevent so much of the disease that we have in our society if we knew some of these things. The autoimmune is under control. I know exactly what to do. That's why I'm in the sauna for one of the reasons. It's also incredibly helpful for reducing stress and having mental clarity so that I can build this business and be a mom and be an awesome wife. And the autoimmune is like, it's actually kind of a blessing in disguise. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm actually kind of grateful I went through that journey, and I actually believe that I can heal fully. And doctors say that you can't, that it won't. But I don't believe that. I think the body can actually heal fully, and I'm in the place with the people that can make that happen.
That's amazing. Would you say, would you consider it like almost like in remission at this point? Or is it just something that until it's fully healed is something you kind of have to deal with at a low level and just be mindful of?
Yeah, you just deal with it at a low level and be mindful of it. I mean, I know that if I go and eat gluten, like I'll have a flare up. I know that if I push myself too hard on one day and I don't recover and my nervous system is shot, then it just takes me a little longer to get back into the groove of things. So, which is why the full spectrum infrared sauna and float therapy have literally been a game changer, because I can actually take care of my body how my body needs me to take care of it, with or without the autoimmune. Like when the autoimmune is released from my body, I still need to be taking care of it, which I think is why my body knows that it can release it eventually, because I'm at the place where I know how to take care of it.
Got it. You mentioned the diet and cleaning it up, and gluten, when you have the gluten after being off of it, it really punishes you. We are human. I'm curious, like, how often do you say, like, it's worth it. Let me go through a little bit of suffering to go off the diet?
Yeah. So if I do it once, so let's just say I do it like once a week, it actually doesn't, it's not a big deal. So how my doctor described it with autoimmune is like, if my body is a cup and my autoimmune is like already fully flowing over the cup. So anytime I do anything, there's a flare up. Well, now like my autoimmune has like lowered, it's like a little bit in the cup. And so if I do something, it raises, but it's not a big deal. But if I eat gluten, back to back 2 or 3 days, like I'm out.
Got it. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Because my body just it's like, okay, you've ramped up too much. I'm now overflowing and you're still giving me gluten. But like if I wanted to, I could go and eat something today and not have a flare up.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
100%.
So this is just funny. I stay pretty strict on my diet, but we had tickets to the baseball game on Friday night. Our neighborhood now, Daybreak, has a baseball team. So it's super cool to just, go on a short walk or bike ride and be at the arena. And we got with fancy tickets with all you can eat food. And I was like, you know what? I haven't gone off my diet in a while. Let me just add. So I had a few like egg rolls that were deep fried.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of potatoes. And then they had the Far's ice cream, which is super good. The cookie dough one.
Yum.
And it's so funny because I would eat and I'd have a few bites and I'd be like, okay, 2 more bites. I get into sugar and I can't stop. The number of times I said in my head 2 more bites, I don't know why 2 is the magic number, but for whatever reason, just 2 more bites. And then after a while, I was like, that was like 20 bites ago. Like, what am I doing? As we were walking out, I started to feel acute pain in the back of my eye, all through my neck. My left trap felt like it was on fire all the way down through my ribs. It was crazy, like painful for hours.
Yeah.
Just we're so dumb as humans.
I know, right? Had you had like 1 egg roll, you would have been probably fine, right? If you had had 2 bites of ice cream, you probably would have been fine. But it's our bodies just, especially if we've had eating challenge, like that's been our go-to when stress has happened or to comfort us. Like I am so grateful for my childhood, and there was so many challenges. My mom, when I was 8 years old, she started having autoimmune condition stuff. Back then, they did not. That was 30 years ago. Right. They had no clue what they were doing. So she literally, every time she went to the doctor, she was diagnosed with something else. Turns out it was MS. And so she was misdiagnosed for 25 years.
Gosh.
But I say that because my childhood was when we do something that is uncomfortable, or let's just go eat, like let's stress eat or emotionally eat. And so that's kind of like my go-to as well. Or when you're celebrating, when you're at a game or you're had a birthday or whatever, like it's like food in my culture growing up was just like, we did it. I mean, my mom made dessert 3 times a week, and we had it after dinner. Like, and then there was, not to mention, that's not even including the cookies. She would make, I kid you not, 5 dozen cookies a week. And they were just always there, always available, right? And not to talk about like the non-organic wheat and cane sugar, like none of that was happening. It was highly enriched and processed and all the things. And let me just tell you, my mom's a good cookie maker. Those suckers are so good. But when we go now as an adult, when you know, like, hey, I need to be eating organic wheat and I need to not eat as much sugar, and it for sure shouldn't be refined. And, it's our go-to to just keep eating, and so I have to catch myself too. And sometimes we do, sometimes we suffer and we're like, oh crap, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I do and what I would teach my clients to do is like have a game plan. Like you knew that you were going to the box suite that had all the food. So like make a game plan, like, hey, I haven't been like a conscious decision. Like I haven't been off my plan for a while. I'm going to eat one treat or 3 bites of XYZ or whatever, and have a game plan ahead of time so that you don't let your subconscious brain like run the show, because then it really never does something that we want it to do.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, that's great advice. I appreciate your input there. And it did remind me, I wanted to ask you, in your personal journey, you mentioned finding, functional medicine. You went a different course for your mom. I saw my mom suffer in the conventional system when she was diagnosed with cancer. It was 7.5 years, really painful, treatments until she finally passed away. But like you said, you found, when you were having issues, you found functional medicine. Did your experience with your mom kind of drive that decision to say, like, maybe I'm not going to find what I need in the conventional medical system. I want to look elsewhere?
Yeah, 100%. And also, like, I just knew that I knew that the traditional doctors knew how to fix the body. Like, if I break a bone, I'm for sure going to go to a doctor and fix the body. And I had twins. They had twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, found out when they were 16 weeks. At 21 weeks, we had to have a surgery in the womb. I would not be alive. They would not be alive for modern medicine. I'm so grateful for them. So grateful for doctors. Love them. So amazing. And cancer's still on the rise. Autoimmune conditions are rampant. Like, I knew that there was something different. So thankfully for social media, I'd been looking for different ways of taking care of the body, and been learning for years and years and years. And so I had been implementing some of these things. And so when it came to and I knew that if I went to a doctor and they told me I was normal, and I don't feel normal, something else has to change, right? I think that's the biggest thing that people go talk to your doctor, but if they're not validating what you're actually feeling, they clearly can't help you. And so went the functional medicine route. So incredibly grateful that I did. And real healing is happening because of it. And it takes time. I quote unquote abused my body for 37 years.
Yeah.
Right? That's not you can't just take a pill or have a surgery and override that.
Right.
You gotta heal, and it takes time. And so I'm here for that. And I'm feeling like I love my body more now that I actually want to take care of it. So, when there is a birthday party, or there is a Super Bowl game, or there is whatever it is that is happening around, it's like, I care so deeply about my body. I'm not going to participate in the foods that I know are not beneficial for it.
Cool.
So that's kind of how I think we have to love our bodies more in order to take care of them better. And a lot of people have a hard time with that. They don't understand that aspect of it. So,
well, thank you for sharing that journey. We've been talking about all these amazing benefits of floating and saunas, obviously. And I was just thinking, wow, this is so beneficial. If I break my arm, I should come here to the float lab. You're saying actually I should go to the doctor if that's the case?
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, but funny enough, when you go get a knee replacement or you go and have surgery, you should for sure come and detox in the sauna. We actually have one of our good friends. He went and had a knee replacement, and I'm so grateful for surgeons that are finally getting on board with some of this stuff, because he told him, the minute that you can go and get in your car and go get in a sauna, you should. Your body, it will help heal your knee. And how cool is that? It's true. And it's true. It's not just all the blood flow that happens, the reducing of the inflammation, the getting all the gunk, all of the drugs that they put in your system. Glutathione should for sure be mandatory. I think if anybody that has had surgery should for sure be on glutathione. It's just, there's some really cool, we can play nice with the medical world.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, they do pair nicely. We have therapists that send their patients here, come see me once a week and do a therapy session, but you need to be in a full spectrum infrared sauna 3 days a week. Yeah. And I'm telling you, different human beings from the time that they came at the beginning, depressed, just down on life, like whipped little puppies. And then now it's, holy cow, you're different. I mean, it automatically it gives you endorphins when you're in this sauna. So people go in with a load. They go in with stress, they go in with anxiety, they go in with frustrations, whatever it is, and then they come out and they're high on life. It's like the coolest thing ever to see. Yeah, in 45 minutes, and all they have to do is sit there. Like, that's the coolest part. I mean, you have to make them do burpees and push-ups and go running and all the things. And I'm like, no, just come sit and relax.
I absolutely love it. Well, thank you for sharing that story. I was going to ask you if you had any other specific stories. Maybe we'll get to that, but I did have a few follow-up questions from first sauna and then floating. Sauna question is about temperature. A traditional sauna that I've been in before, the temperatures I remember would get up to be like 180, 190 degrees, very, very hot.
Yeah.
The sauna that I have at home is infrared. I don't know if it's the full spectrum or not. Right. Mine, even in the summer when it's warm in the garage, it gets up to maybe like 140, which I think is fine for me. I can stay there for 20, 30 minutes. I might try to push it a little bit. And, when it gets really uncomfortable, I might try to set a goal of like 5 more minutes or something like that. But for me, that temperature feels okay. Are your saunas the same? Do they get up to about the same range? And is that about right?
Yeah. So our saunas work. So Sunlighten has done lots of testing and with their saunas, I can't speak to every infrared sauna, but with the Sunlighten saunas, it works in between 120 and 170 degrees.
Got it.
So that's our range. That's how they've programmed them for us. So we keep them in between 140 and 150. And, but especially in the summer months, you can turn them down. And in the winter months, people want to get hotter. Yes. They can turn them up. And you're still getting the benefits. One of the things that we have a slow season, and that's the summer. I get it. Like, people don't want to come in. They're sweating outside. They feel like they don't want to sweat inside. It's a different sweat, and you're not getting the benefits that the sweating outside is getting. You don't stop working out in the summer, correct?
Right. Exactly.
Do you stop working out in the winter?
Nope.
No. So like, we sauna year round. That is, but if you're in that, so traditional saunas, especially at like gyms and stuff, they keep it between 180 and 210. And that is incredibly challenging to stay in for longer than 5 minutes. Yeah. 10 top. I'm like, anybody that can stay in there longer than 10 or 15 minutes is like a superhero in my mind.
Or they're from Finland.
This is true. And so I just, like, you can turn it down and still get the infrared, all 3 spectrums infrared benefits, which is something that is kind of a cool thing that's different and unique about the infrared.
Got it. Okay. And then again, considering the benefits of the float, we've talked about so many of the benefits, and I don't know many other things that like fill so many different buckets as far as like, this is good for your mental space. This is good for your spirituality. I would agree. Mm-hmm. This is good for your physical. This is good for your emotional. Like, there's so many different things that could benefit. And one, you mentioned the magnesium. Is there something to just being in that much magnesium? You mentioned earlier, the person that was saying like, it's not an option to do sauna anymore because there's so many toxins out there. They kind of say the same thing with magnesium supplementation, where it's like, you should probably do this because you're not getting enough, period. Is there some benefit to just being in that much magnesium?
Oh, I'm so excited that you went there. A couple of things. So about 70% of the United States population is magnesium deficient. Think about this. Every cell in your body needs magnesium. So cells are diseased and dying and not regenerating appropriately, part of it is because they're not giving them the vitamins and minerals that they need. So 100%. So what do you know? I'm going to quiz you. Do you actually know the biggest organ in your body?
Your skin?
Your skin, right? So when you're floating in 1,500 pounds of medical grade magnesium, your body is, especially after you do a sauna. I'm so excited. You need to do a sauna at your house and then come and do a float right after. You've detoxed, all your pores are really open and they're ready to receive all that magnesium. So then there's also like different forms of magnesium. So when you'll get it topically in your skin, but then we also actually suggest taking a supplement, a magnesium. We highlight Symbiotica. They have a magnesium that has like I think it's 3 different magnesiums in it. It's actually one of the most delicious Symbiotica supplements that they have because they're liposomal, which we could geek out on that too. Which just means that it's more bioavailable. Your body gets more of the supplement. When you're just taking pills, you're normally only getting 30% of that supplement. So with liposomal, you're getting all of it, like 98%, I think, because it's bypassing the stomach. But when you're in the float, so yes, you're floating in all of that magnesium, and then getting it internally is good too, because it's a different form of magnesium.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So let's hear some of your favorite stories. These can be, some that are more recent. They could be big things, small things, just, maybe 2 or 3 that kind of come to mind when it comes to, either sauna or floating or the combination of the two.
Yeah. So we have, our members are actually really cool. We have a gentleman. So I mentioned that I bought it in July of 2025. Well, it was actually closed at that point. And so we reopened in September, but while we were closed, I still was here working and doing some revamping and stuff. And a gentleman came in the studio and, he was like, "Hey, can I float?" And we had done a little bit of construction. So it was not we weren't open, and he didn't know that. And I said, "We're not open right now. Tell me your story. Tell me why you like floating, all the things." And he said, "Well, I came with my wife a couple of weeks ago and she recently passed away. And I wanted to float. I wanted to do that experience with her again." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got to make this happen for this guy." Right. So, we scheduled a time where the studio would be clean and he could come and do it. And, he actually opted into a sauna membership, because he, needed to take care of his body. He needed the mental and emotional reset. And he opted in for a sauna membership, but as a member, you get perks. And so you get floats at a discount. And so he was doing a lot of sauna and float, and he swears that it kept him out of depression, and kept him non-suicidal, because he just was really struggling. He had hard challenges with kids and grandkids, and he still comes. He's still one of our solid members. And it's just one of those things where he was able to luckily find us beforehand, and then was able to come during a challenging moment in his life and feel supported. And he comes and he just kind of chills after his sauna, and he'll chat with us, and we give him recommendations of I love this app. You guys, if you do not know about this app, it's amazing. It's called Bobby Approved, and it'll tell you what's in your food. So at least you're conscious and aware. It gives you a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whether the food is safe or not. If it says a thumbs down, I always look through and see. Do you know this app?
I've heard about it. I have not used it. Yeah,
I'll show it to you when we're done recording. But it'll just tell you, so you're at least aware of what you're eating, right? And he was very grateful for that. So we really do love the community aspect of it. We had another, let me think of another gentleman came in, and he was wanting more muscle recovery, and he, after coming a couple of times, because you really have to, I mean, how often do you sauna?
I sauna every single day. I'm lucky enough that I have one,
Yeah.
but I'm every day.
Yeah, 100%. And so we recommend 3 at a minimum per week, but we get it. Like, we get that some people can't do that, but he was one of those that was able to come 3 days a week, or 3 days a week. And he just said, after probably a month of coming, he's like, I came for the muscle recovery, and I didn't anticipate that I would feel so good about life, that life was better when I saunaed. We have another gentleman. This one's kind of interesting, and you can geek out on this one. He was on the GLP-1 Manjaro, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not into all of that. So he's on Manjaro, and he had done the dosages where you like take more on slow increments or whatever, and he'd gotten up to this certain point, and it started like backing up his system, and his whole stomach started bloating, like it like ballooned him. Whoa. And he went to the doctor, and they said he has gastrointestinal paresis, and like nothing was flowing in his system. And so he came and got an unlimited sauna membership. He literally came every day, was religious with it. I'm very spiritual. And so I was praying for him as well. Cause he said, if I don't start having flow in my body, then I have to go to the ER, and they have to do some sort of procedure. And so we were praying for him as well. And he was able to his body was able to get out of the paresis, and he was on it because he wanted to lose weight. He had had a knee injury, and because of that knee injury, he couldn't exercise and be as active as he was. And then he was depressed. And so he went into like the food thing, all of the things. And he's like, I got out of the gastrointestinal paresis. I'm losing weight. My skin feels better. I have way more energy. My sleep has improved. Like, this place is literally amazing. I will never not come to Pure Sweat and Float Studio. He's not as into the float. And some people are and some people aren't. I think you have to try it. Yeah. And you actually need to try it more than once, is my recommendation. Because the first time, it's like, kind of, like you said, it's kind of like it's not an experience that you're used to. And so then the second time, it's like you now know what to expect and you know what to do. And then the third time, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, my body feels so good after I'm in here. Why am I not doing this more? But yeah, so that was actually a really cool experience too. We have friends that come. We have actually 2 friends. They come and float. They jump in their swimsuits. They float together. They love it. They come almost every week. Wow. So people just use it with their own way. It's really powerful for your mental and emotional health. Many people might not know, but a lot of your mood and your mental health is actually in your gut. Yeah. And so cleaning up your gut. So all of our teenagers out there, they can use an infrared sauna. So I had one gentleman say, why would I want to bring my teenager with me? Like, this is my safe space. This is like my haven. Like, I don't want to bring my stress with me to my sauna. And actually yesterday was his son's second time, because it's so powerful for his son. And I'm like, maybe your son won't be so stressful to you if he'll come and get in the sauna with you. So anyway, it's really, really, really cool. The experiences that we have in the studio. We have locations all over the country. So if there's one close to you, go check out Pure Sweat. Some of them have, just full disclosure, Pure Sweat Studios has 3 different modalities. So they do the cold plunge, the sauna, and the float. Different locations have different services.
Got it.
So some of them have cold plunge and sauna. Some of them just have sauna, and some of them have sauna and float. So we're sauna and float here in South Jordan. It's amazing.
Awesome.
It really, it's just, the vibe in here is just so welcoming and calming, and it's just amazing.
I felt that from the beginning for sure. And we don't have any particular affiliation at all. We're just really glad that we reached out and to find, people around us that share similar values and really want to help the community. I just think is absolutely wonderful. And what you guys have here is really, really special. So I appreciate you inviting me into my brand new podcasting studio here in the lobby of Pure Sweat.
Yes.
Andra, and besides the business, besides the space, which it feels amazing, I've just gotten to meet so many lovely people who are really kind and caring, including yourself. And I've just really appreciated your energy and this amazing conversation. I think a lot of people will get a lot out of this, and hopefully they seek this out. For now, where would you like people to go to find you and connect with you and your work? And if somebody's in the area, where should they come to check out the studio?
Yes. So we're in the area, we're in the district. So 1506 South District Drive. We're number 300, just right by the Copy Tech in the district. And then just follow us on social media. Get on Instagram. We're at Pure Sweat South Jordan. Our website is puresweatstudios.com/ you have to find the location. So you have to go to the South Jordan location, but there's actually lots of information about sauna and float on puresweatstudios.com. Different blogs and stuff that you can learn, allergy relief, like all the different things that sauna and float can support you in.
That's amazing. Awesome. We'll link all of that in the show notes. And like I said, thank you for this special opportunity to chat with you and learn about this stuff. And thank you so very much for sharing this message with our audience. We really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It was such an honor. And this has been another episode of Boundless Body Radio.